This big mechanized ape has been causing a lot of trouble to new Descendants in the Crossplay beta. Right now, there's no way you can solo carry this, since the developer fixed that exploit with Gley, wherein the uncapped fire rate of beam rifles gets super busted with the Descendants' third ability. You can literally melt the Devourer in a few seconds. Right now it's all about gear check and a bit of knowledge on the fight. First of all, I would just humbly ask you guys that if your character is still level 30 or below, then please don't do the Devourer fight, as you will just waste the time of those who are actually farming the Void Intercept boss. I'm sorry to say this, but you would need at least level 35, or the required is to max level 40 your Descendant before you even fight this boss. This is because at the moment, you will just die if you don't have enough module capacity to give your Descendant decent survivability. Also, Gley is the best Descendant for this fight because of her firearm attack bonus, which makes the fight a lot easier. I just want to give you the basics on playing Gley against the Devourer boss fight before we proceed to some actual tips. So if you are Gley, you will need to activate your first ability every time to deal massive firearm damage against the big ape, but there are instances that you would need to deactivate this when your health is half or even lower. Now her third ability is actually helpful for both DPS and health regeneration of Gley. When you are raging, your gun will have infinite ammunition for a couple of seconds. This is very useful in burst damaging those reactors in the Devourer fight that heals the boss. What I usually do is save up her third ability for the heal phase to somehow deal massive damage and destroy it at the fastest time possible with Gley. However, there are times that you can't keep up the rage since you need to heal. Remember that Gley has no shield, so you have to depend on high defense value and her ability to regenerate health fast. There are two things that will help you restore your health fast with Gley during this fight. One is activating her third ability when you are not using her first ability. This will give you bonus health regeneration. Secondly, you can use your second ability against those adds in the Devourer boss fight to increase your health recovery. If you know when to use Gley's ability in this mission, then you will have no problem at all. Then we proceed to the module requirements for this fight. First of all, the Devourer is heavy with toxin damage, and you must have at least a bit of toxin resistance. But before toxin resistance, you must prioritize first having massive defense value. Right now I'm almost at 7k defense with my Descendant with the help of these modules, and also with the external components that is mostly defense stats. For Gley, you can combine health and defense, depending on what you need, as remember, this Descendant has health regeneration, and the higher your health values, the more health restore you will get from her abilities. Also, I forgot to mention this in my previous video, but try to upgrade your melee. In Warframe, this is called an aura slot, wherein if you upgrade this, then you will have more capacity to put more modules in your Descendant. Lastly, I would like to talk about weaken recovery. This was just a dumb idea of mine, and I never thought that it would work since during the rush phase of Devourer. You can't damage the boss at all. I don't know if you noticed this, but the heal rate of the Devourer on the heal phase gets slower when you use your sub-weapon against those capsules that are healing the Devourer. The only thing I can't assure right now if it's stacked with other weaken recovery module. If somehow you guys see this video, please equip this module, as it will make a big impact at the healing phase of the Devourer fight. Again, this really needs further testing, as the slow recovery rate during the heal phase of the Devourer might also be the result of those broken parts. So, I would humbly ask that you return to this video once you tried out the module if it works. Next, let's discuss about damage types. When it comes to modding your weapon, you must make sure that you don't just have the highest DPS output, but also the right element to kill the Devourer faster. For this Void Intercept boss fight, you would need to equip electric modules to gain advantage in the fight. Also, if you have a special weapon, preferably a beam rifle like the Dogma 21, then I suggest that you use this one because insane module called Battlesuit Crusher, which reduces the defense of the Devourer by 50% for 10 seconds. There's also an ultimate hand cannon in the game which will be rewarded to you this beta called Nasietra's Devotion that will also lower the defense of the Devourer by 30%. I usually use this two guns to help my teammates do a lot of damage in the public matches. However, you can see that it doesn't match the Damaget type or Devourer's weakness for each part. Most of the parts of the Devourer are breakable using a piercing and burst weapon, but as of now, I only have the Thunder Cage as best suitable weapon for dealing more damage to the balancer and sensor of the Devourer. I can equip piercing guns, but I prefer the huge defense reduction against the Devourer since it helps a lot in public matchmaking. I can just focus my attacks on the balancer of the Devourer using my Thunder Cage to deal massive damage, but The beam rifle is more lethal in my opinion because it procs electric more often and the defense buff is huge for the team. Just a quick tip, if you are seeing those green numbers in your screen, then it indicates that you are damaging the boss with the right element. In the Devourer's case, the electric damage is always hitting the boss while using the Dogma 21. Now, when it comes to facing the Devourer, it's not really always about being Gley, and you can in fact use other Descendants as long as you know what you are doing. Just like I always say, always aim for the weak parts, but for the Devourer case, you might want to wait up until the boss is close to raging. So how do you know if it will rage? If they use your E-Civ feature by pressing the tab button in your keyboard, you will notice a purple bar beneath the health of the Devourer, which is the indication on how close the boss will rage. Use this information to time when to grapple to his shoulders and break it. Why use your hook when close to raging? It's because if you notice, the Devourer will have a longer down phase if you do this, and you can dish more damage to the Devourer. Although it will still enter rage phase but dealing more damage, means that the Devourer needs more health to heal, and if you have the weaken recovery module, then it will be harder for the boss to heal. Lastly, the only thing that is problematic with using a different Descendant aside from Gley is the damage side of the fight. You will need max out all the necessary firearm attack bonus mods, and as well as the electric damage mods in your guns. In addition, the capsule that heals the Devourer needs to be taken down at the fastest time possible. After using your sub-melee to it to slow down the recovery phase, you will need to burst this things down with something like a rocket launcher while your infinite ammunition buff from Gley is active. This way, you will destroy these things at the fastest time possible. So that's all about it. Don't forget to get back later and tell me if the weaken recovery mode works for you. Also, please do support the channel by simply liking and subscribing to us. This will help us big time and keep us motivated to create more gaming videos for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.